Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 14 of Positive Reinforcement. We made it, guys. This is the mid-season finale. I am shocked. I'm shocked because somehow I've done 14 of these shows, and it doesn't even feel like 14 weeks have gone by. Technically, 16 weeks have gone by. 2 of those weeks I didn't even make an episode for. And this semester it's gone. Can't believe it. But that means you're having fun, man. And I definitely am having fun. I've got a V8 Energy, a black cherry drink. Usually I drink these in the morning. I'm not tired or like worn out or anything. I just like the taste of them. They're not crazy like a energy drink is. At least I don't think so. I don't know. I feel like you can never tell really what's healthy for you and what's not anymore. Things that are healthy for you are so expensive, and things that appear to be healthy for you, they're misleading. I don't know. Anyway, it's good. It's a lot better than soda, so that's a win for me. All right, so I have no agenda today. So I am just going off of what's going on up here today. But I got a lot to talk about, so I think I'll be all right without an agenda. Guys, it is December 11th when I filmed this. We've got almost 10 days until Christmas. Soak it up, man. You have got to soak it up. I'm taking my wife to Disneyland this upcoming Sunday to celebrate our 11th anniversary of being together and our 6th anniversary of marriage. Never been to Disneyland during Christmas time, so I am super excited to just experience the magic that is Disneyland and the magic that is Christmas just together, you know? It's going to be so beautiful. I've never been to Disneyland during like fall and winter months, so I assume it's still going to be semi-warm because it is Southern California, but I'm assuming the nights will be pretty cold. Anyway, hey, welcome to the mid-season finale. Let's talk about weather, you know? Speaking of weather, though, here in the Central Valley, I was watching Channel 30 Action News last night, as I do every single weeknight. And I watch Channel 30 every weeknight because it's kind of a weird thing. I don't know if I've talked about this or not on the podcast, but when I'm done working, listen, I know this story is going on like 8 different sidetracks right now, but there is one of the best feelings in the world is putting on brand new socks and then putting on your pants. We've established this. This is heaven in a moment, you know? The next best feeling is when you know that you are done with work, or when you know that you don't have to work for a day, and you are witnessing someone else like having to get ready for work, or you're witnessing someone else having to work and you don't have to. So you kind of feel like a king, you know? And I get that feeling when I come home after a long day and I turn on the local news and they're working hard. And I know that they have to be up for, you know, at least until about 11 o'clock, you know, when they do the 11 o'clock news. So there's a satisfaction I get from watching someone else that is nearby, right? If I turn on like David Muir or something, it's not going to affect me as much because he's somewhere else, right? I think they do that in New York. But when I know that there are people on my TV that are working hard, that live near me, and I don't have to work anymore, it's a great feeling. It's like you're working for me, kind of, you know? Anyway, I don't know if that made sense to anybody, but Nothing's better than when you're all just bundled up in bed, and you witness like your husband or wife or brother and sister or whoever, and they're having to get ready for school or for work, and you don't got to do anything, and just enjoy it, best feeling ever. Right next to socks and pants. Where was that story originally going, though? Weather. That's right. I was watching Channel 30 last night, and Kevin Musso, the weatherman, he's a good weatherman. He's the one that replaced Angelo Stalis, Central Valley legend, but he takes being a weatherman very seriously, and that is funny, and also I respect that. Weathermen predict the weather, but no matter how good your equipment is, weather is weather. No one can control it. No one can truly predict it. It's like the movie Weatherman with Nicolas Cage, one of my favorite movies ever. He is an aspiring writer, and he wants to be like his dad, who is a really well-established, well-known author. But all his stories are crap, and his wife talks shit on his books and all that. So he realizes, I'm not going to be this prolific writer like my dad is, so I need to start taking being a weatherman a lot more seriously. So he goes into the meteorologist room, and his partner there is like, yeah, it's going to be windy, probably going to be this temperature on this day. And he losing his sense of identity, he wants to truly understand his craft as a weatherman. So he's like, yeah, but why? Why is there wind? Why will it be this temperature that day? And the meteorologist guy next to him is just like, I don't know, man. It's wind. It blows all over the place. I don't know what's going to happen. That's just what I think. That's just my guess. And in that moment, Nicolas Cage just loses all sense of identity and who he is, because his job is not pointless, but there's kind of a lack of merit and credibility to being a weatherman that just reports the weather because you don't really know. I mean, I've literally seen it. It happened this month. It was forecasted as 55 degrees the next day. And I was like, okay, I'm going to wear my big jacket, and it's going to be pretty cold, right? And the next day, the temperature ended up being 67 degrees. That's 12 degrees difference, okay? That shows you how you just can't depend on it. Now listen, I've spent almost 5 minutes talking about weather and how unpredictable it is. Does that have anything to do with teaching? It might sound like it doesn't, but you know what? We've built a bridge up to this point. And there is a point to this bridge. And I am trying to strand sentences together to make it seem like I know how I'm creating this bridge, when I really don't, because I totally forgot the whole point of the story. Just remembered. Back to Kevin Musso, the weatherman. The weather here in the Central Valley has been super winter-like. A lot of fog, pretty cold. Pretty cold for California. But I was watching the news last night, and when it came up to the weather segment, Kevin Musso came on the screen as if there had been this huge shooting or something. But he was just like, ladies and gentlemen, if you go outside, you are walking into a tragedy. The weather outside is so unhealthy that you should not leave your homes. He was being very dramatic, very somber and serious, and I guess it's just polluted outside. I don't remember what specifically he said, but anyway, it's December, it's cold, it's foggy. That's the bottom line, and apparently the air quality is not that great today and yesterday and probably tomorrow. I don't know. Anyway, so Today was our last day where we got out at our normally scheduled time. Tomorrow and Friday are finals days, which means we get out at 11:30 a.m. Now, in this profession, there are tiny gifts that come with the job. And Thursday and Friday this week are a couple of examples of those tiny gifts. Getting out at 11:30 in the morning. It's unfair, to be honest. It really is. Days like tomorrow and Friday, you realize you're getting paid to stand up in front of kids and say, type in this link and start your test. And then you're just getting paid to stand there and watch them take a test for 3 hours. Pretty unfair, but awesome. You know, there's little perks like that really make this profession worthwhile, besides all the changing lives and all that stuff. But, it's pretty cool. Today, all of the sophomore teachers, this is the second annual Secret Santa that we did. We all draw names, and then today we exchange our gifts. Mr. Bacon thought he would be funny, and I should have expected this, but this is what he did. I'll get that labeled out there. Sponsored. This is what Mr. Bacon did. First of all, I'm a huge Batman fan. Love Batman. When it comes to people buying me things for birthday, Christmas, whatever, I have received a lot of Batman-related gifts in my life. Now, I love Batman presents that are like really kind of specific, esoteric things that, like, you know, something like the duck that the Penguin drives in Batman Returns. Like if someone got a little toy like that for me, which my wife did for Christmas a couple years ago, that's the kind of Batman present I'm talking about, you know? When you give me a t-shirt that has the just generic black and yellow Batman symbol on it, and it says something like, I'm just saying, I've never seen myself and Batman in the same room together. Coincidence? I'm Batman. Ain't that clever? Get that shit away from me, okay? Can't stand it. The stuff that, the pop culture Batman stuff. The pop culture Batman stuff, I want nothing to do with it. And there's actually a poster. I was talking to someone about this not too long ago. I can't remember if I was talking to a student or colleague or whatever, but I talked about how I hate stuff that just has the generic Batman logo on it. And they were like, yeah, well, you got a bat symbol flag in your classroom. What's up with that? And I would show you a picture of it, but I'm too lazy. But it's not a generic Batman symbol. Yes, it's black. Yes, it has the yellow outline, but it's the Batman 89 specific logo, which is very different than the original generic Batman logo. On the bottom tail of the wings, when they connect, I'm looking at it right now, usually it just kind of comes down like this. Do I have... This is hilarious. I just realized I have this. This was given to me by a student not too long ago. It says, always be yourself. Unless you can be Batman, then always be Batman. I have received this phrase 6 or 7 times on various gifts, mugs, presents, or t-shirts, framed shit. I appreciate the gesture. Trust me. But this is what I'm talking about. Can't stand it. But because I really love this kid and this was very thoughtful of her to do, I keep it up, you know? I'm not an asshole. I hate it, sure, but I'm not a jerk. Anyway, The 89 logo for Batman, it kind of like does this little extra spiky thing here that Tim Burton designed. And it's on his chest in the movie. The movie poster has the traditional Batman logo, but on his emblem in the movie, it's got this extra thing. And I always thought it was cool. And I found a flag that has that 89 logo on it. So I put that up. But, to the generic or the average Joe Batman fan, they're not going to understand. Anyway, so Mr. Bacon got me for our Secret Santa thing. And super funny, he gives me the box, and I open it up, and inside of it, he's got a paper. It's sitting over there, but it's a paper that has a picture of a mug with a bat symbol on it. And I think it says this: always be yourself unless you can be Batman. It says that, or another one of the dumb things about Batman. And it's just a paper that says arriving in January. So first joke, he didn't even have the present ready. Hilarious. And second, he knows how much I hate generic Batman crap like that and still got it for me anyway. Mrs. Baird, if Mr. Bacon didn't tell me that he bought me that gift, I would have assumed Mrs. Baird got it for me. Every time I'm out at a store and I see a mug with a stupid saying like, "I'm not feeling very worky today." Super dumb. Can't stand that crap. And anybody that finds that 100% genuinely funny, there's the door. Goodbye. I don't want to talk to you anymore. How about that? Is that a deal? Huh? Because you're not on the same wavelength as me. Okay? So get out of here. Anyway, I would have assumed that Mrs. Baird got it because she knows my hatred for dumb sayings on cups. But no, it was Mr. Bacon. But he actually bought me a legit present, which was underneath, hidden in the box. He got me Death Stranding for PlayStation 4. Hideo Kojima, mastermind behind Metal Gear Solid. I cannot wait to play this video game. I'm not the biggest video game guy. Never really have been. But man, when I find a great game, I'm addicted to it. I love all the Metal Gear Solid games, except for Phantom Pain. The Batman Arkham games are great.
Attention students. Nyla Rodriguez, please report to the front of the school. Nyla Rodriguez, please report to the front of the school.
The Batman Arkham games are great. Skyrim is amazing. So anyway, I don't think I've talked about anything to do with teaching so far, and we're about 18 and a half minutes in. But you know what? This is my life, man. Life of an English teacher says right here in the description. Check it out somewhere over here. Take a look. And this is my life. And you know what? The semester's coming to an end, so not really much going on. One thing I do want to talk about. Mr. Bacon, his sixth period is not a force to be reckoned with, apparently. He kind of always has to meditate a little bit before he goes into his sixth period. Sixth periods in general, there's just something about them. Sometimes they can get out of hand for any teacher, no matter how good or how great their classroom management is. Sixth period, the end of the day, that last period, they can be a beast sometimes. And Mr. Bacon's got a beast of a sixth period this year. Thankfully, my sixth period this year, behavior-wise, probably the best sixth period I've ever had. So I'm thankful for that. But anyway, he got on a student about being dumb and being disrespectful and distracting and all that. And the kid talked back. But then the rest of the class laughed at a joke that Mr. Bacon said about her, and it was lighthearted and all that. But when you see, as a teacher, when all of the other students have your back, when you are having a disagreement with a student, that's a great sign. That's a great sign. that means you know what you're doing. I can't tell you how many times like a student has been annoying and just totally throwing the class off. I've had students literally just vocalize like, hey, sit down. He's trying to teach. He's trying to say something. Like, you guys are doing my job for me. This is great, all done. That's happened a handful of times, and it's really cool. That's when you know that you're doing something right. I remember the first time that happened, I wasn't even a full-on teacher yet. I was long-term sub. And that happened. I had a kid I said something that rubbed him the wrong way, and he just kind of snapped back at me. And one of the girls up in the front was like, don't talk to Mr. Norris like that, straight up. And the rest of the class was like, oh, okay, all right. And I was like, okay, maybe I am good at this, and it made me feel really confident. So if you got the other kids backing you up because they want to stay on track in class, it's a good sign. This is the mid-season finale. So that means there's going to be 3 weeks without a podcast. And I don't know how I feel about that. So no promises, but I might at least once do a podcast from home, kind of catching you up on things. Will it be before Christmas? Probably not, because I am Mr. Christmas. And as soon as that final bell rings on Friday, all I want for Christmas is you. I don't want a lot for Christmas. That's what I turn into. Mr. Freaking Christmas. Jingle bells sprout from my ears, and I don the gayest apparel that you have ever seen. So, will I make a podcast before Christmas? No, because I will be too busy celebrating, soaking it in. But that week, that's between Christmas Day and New Year's, that weird span of time where the world just feels like everything stops. It's such a surreal time. But right in there, I might make an episode from home. Might. We'll see how I feel. Because if I don't, I'm not going to see you guys until first week of January. That'll be episode 15, kicking right back into it, So we'll see how I feel. Toying with the idea of making one from home. We'll see. Oh my gosh. So this week, the week before the semester ends for Christmas break, all of the PLCs, freshman teachers, sophomore teachers, junior teachers, senior teachers, in the English office, every PLC has a designated day where they bring cookies, treats, Christmas stuff, coffee for all the other teachers. Really cool tradition. I think this is like the 5th year that we've done it. It's called Cookie Fest. Super cool. I brought white fudge covered Oreos, and Mr. Bacon's wife makes the best cookies that you have ever tasted. Imagine the feeling of putting on socks first and then pants, watching someone work when you don't have to, with thousands of kittens around, getting a back massage, and eating a piece of ham, honey-baked ham. Imagine all those things happening simultaneously in your mouth. That's what Mr. Bacon's cookies taste like. All of those things together. They're that good. The only problem is, at least with me, you can't have more than one. They're so sweet. And they're so rich. You really don't need more than one. And if you eat more than one, you're a slob. People that consume sweets just cookie after cookie after donut after pastry after cookie after fudge piece after cake after donut after donut after donut. What are you doing with your life? Get it together. Like, I always put on weight this time of year. There's no doubt about that. And I kind of just allow myself to indulge because I know once January kicks in and everything's back to normal and all the magic's gone, freaking hate it. January through September suck. I know that it's time to kick back into gear. I can also feel it, like my chin kind of starts to get a little bit bigger right around here. I can kind of feel it a little bit more. That's my warning. I'm like, I can feel my next chin coming in. Gotta stop. I put the donuts down and I go do some push-ups and I run and I lift weights and I get back into it. But man, imagine just not caring about that. Like, and this goes beyond, appearance. Like, I am well aware that, I care about my appearance. I definitely do. It just I feel confident when I look good. It's bottom line. But it's always a health issue. I do not want to worry about dying from a heart attack at 35 years old. And it kind of astounds me how many people are out there that just don't give a shit. And their body isn't naturally big and they just allow themselves to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, I don't understand it. And I'm not like trying to put people down that are big. Someone who just allows themselves to put on weight and more weight and more weight and more weight. I'm probably talking out of turn here. I don't know. I don't know what that feels like to go down that slippery slope. But man, I'm happy that I'm someone that doesn't allow myself to do that because I allowed myself to gain about 30 pounds one year. That was like 2014, something like that. I got pretty big over a summer. And just feeling like you're constantly going to throw up, like your muscles ache and you're struggling to tie your shoes. You can't even bend down to put your socks on, to put your pants over it, to enjoy it. You're not going to take that away from me. Freaking crazy. I don't know, man. But gaining a sense of control of yourself, like, how does that slip away? I don't know. No, stream of consciousness right now. I don't understand how someone can just lose that ability to just be like, I'm done. Goodbye. Just gonna bring on the donuts, man. It's over. I don't care anymore. Hopefully I never get that way. And I'm going to continue making this podcast so that you can hold me accountable. Anytime you see me with a donut and I weigh about 40 pounds more than I do right now, you have my permission to not only slap the donut out of my hand, but you also have my permission to punch me in the face. We're at 29 and a half minutes right now. This podcast, as fun as it was, I think maybe had 13% of material that actually connected to teaching. But like I said, this is my life. This is how we do things. And I just pulled something. The hell was that? That's uncomfortable, man. Not going to take this out. This is real life. Welcome to 32 years old right here. I put Dr. Scholl's things in my shoes. It's been a big help. I'm 6'3", I weigh about 205. I'm on my feet all day, every day. It takes a toll for sure. And I wear like dress shoes most of the time. Got my brown ones on right here. See it? Is the tree blocking or can you see it? Yeah. Nice shoes, right? But they can be uncomfortable. So that's why I put my Dr. Scholl's in there. All right. I'm done for today, guys. This is the mid-season finale. It's been a super fun ride. We're 14 episodes in. I don't know if I want to have a guest. If I have a guest, the expectation is to have another teacher or the principal or, and I don't want to just do that. I want it to be something special if I have a guest. Like, I don't want to bring a guest on here and just talk about the same stuff I usually talk about. Like I want to bring on a guest that knows something that I don't, that could teach me something maybe. I don't know. I don't even know if I want a guest. This is my show. No one else's, Anyway. I'm done. Have a great day, guys. This has been a blast. Unless I feel like doing one over the break, I will see you in 2020. All right, for episode 15 of Positive Reinforcement. Thank you all. Good night. I love you.